register and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
That's probably the biggest thing that we'll have to understand offensively is that you can't come off those double teams too quickly, and we've talked about it all week long. Linebackers are good, but we got to force them to make the play and not the defensive line. And even I've heard their coach say, and he said it all summer and even last year, number 21, Max Armstrong, is one of the best football players I've seen on tape. He is just tough-nosed, plays the game the right way, and their coach has said it, as Max goes, we go. And
I try not to think too much of anything until it's time to turn up, because if I start thinking now, I'll psych myself out and I might not play good, so I just try to keep my mind off of it as much as possible until it's time.
Max is an awesome kid. I mean, he's an extremely hard worker. He's one of the leaders on our team. He's a two-way player, plays running back and plays linebacker. He maybe missed less than 5 snaps Friday night.
One of the big things was we just need to slow down and execute. I thought we played panicked from the get-go, and maybe losing Jay does that to us. It shouldn't, because we've lost other players before, and unfortunately that's part of the game. Some things like that happen. I obviously feel like we're better than what we put on display on Friday, and I think we've had a great week of practice, and I think we'll probably play a little bit closer to where we're at this Friday.
Takes the snap, back to pass. Looking over the middle, pressure coming. Has to heave it, and it's intercepted. Coming the other way, and going for 6 is Jamarcus Ingram. A 30-yard interception return for a touchdown.
I just watched him take some lumps in a very difficult spot to play in. Saw that he didn't look like he was... I didn't see the body language. I just didn't see the bad body language. I kind of digged it. Especially since, the running game was non-existent.
It's been talked about since, really this started with the Pac-12, because Oregon State and Washington State had, what was left of the league. San Diego State had initiated, exactly what we were talking about. So they just got to a point where, I think under the cover of night, it had been talked about, but when it actually happened, it caught people in the Mountain West a bit flat-footed, including their commissioner.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Friday edition of Sports Day. I am Mike Hesher in for Steve Webster this afternoon, and we're joined by Mike Corson. Good afternoon, Mr. Corson.
Hello.
And then we have Landon Winkler. Landon's going to bring us a new segment today, right, Landon?
We'll see.
Well, hold on. Let's try that again. What are you going to do for us, Landon?
We're probably going to be talking about some esports.
We're going to talk some gaming with Landon. Landon is a gamer. All right. But first, we start with the sounds of the past 24 hours.
Well, you come in all hot on Friday mornings and do your little let us know it's Friday call.
That's right. So Fridays will be esports day.
Oh, okay.
Okay, right? Only when we're here.
I just want your yee-haw.
Landon, you want to do a yeehaw?
Yeehaw! Sounds like a Thursday yeehaw, but we'll take it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, sounds of the past 24 hours. This is Sports Day. Mike Hesher, Mike Corson, and Landon Winkler here on a Friday. So we started off sounds of the past 24 hours with Aaron Beck. As the Great Bend Panthers have their home opener tonight, they take on Olathe South. Great Bend coming off the 28-6 win over McPherson, and Olathe South losing to Powerhouse in 5A Mill Valley 42-35. And there's been a lot of talk about the size of the offensive line for Olathe South, which is averages 6'2", 270 pounds. Mike Corson.
Yeah, we don't always get a chance to see 6A football, Garden City, Dodge City in the WAC, obviously, but like going up to Hayes last week and you see Hayes on the field. Cool. I've seen Hayes plenty of times. Oh, there's Derby lining up. Sometimes 6A is a different animal, especially when you get into the higher end programs. And so, yeah, imagine this is like one of 7 schools, or you throw in Olathe and Overland Park, it's like one of 12 schools up there, and they still are able to find enough kids of that caliber, that size.
It's going to be interesting tonight. Also, we can tell you that we talked to behind that offensive line, Max Armstrong, the running back for Olathe South, 24 carries, 216 yards last week. 4 touchdowns, had a 9-yard average. The quarterback, Gage Lee, who's a sophomore, he ran the ball 12 times for 123 for a 10-yard average. So
And they didn't do that against Wichita North. They did that against the
Mill Valley.
5 times defending state champion.
Exactly.
So yeah, it'll be curious. Great Bend obviously made that nice playoff run last year. Saw Omari Elias from Capon late. I can't remember what the stats were, but they were in that game late. So maybe this is a similar situation where you're going to have a standout running back. Control the game, or otherwise South is going to maybe put some sustained drives and eat up clock.
I mentioned this a couple times, but the Kansas City Star has Max Armstrong, top 15 players on the Kansas side in the Kansas City area. So you think he's probably pretty good.
Yeah, you never want to say it's fun to watch a good kid against the team we're covering, but it's always fun to see the elite athletes come in, and this will be kind of a unique experience for Great Bend.
Then we heard from Connor Holiday from Great Bend and Panthers, and he basically says he tries to keep it low-key until game time, which is a good thing because talking to Aaron Beck this morning, sometimes if you're hyped up during the day, you kind of burn out your energy and you're not ready for game time.
Well, I don't know what time they get out there, but yeah, you get too hyped up. You got to go take that 3:30 nap, which I'm guessing they don't get. So yeah, keep it low-key till you're in that tunnel, and first home game, they'll be extra excited.
3:30 nap, that kind of sounds about what I'm going to try to get done.
That's what we do now.
That's right.
So I think they probably got some pregame stuff that might not be an option, but my pregame is nap time.
I understand. And then we talked to Ron Litchfield. He is the coach of Olathe South, and he told us a little bit about his star running back, Max Armstrong, and how tough he is. And he's just very impressed by the young man, just one of the hardest worker he has on the team.
Yeah, so we're only 1 week in, so it's scary that he did that against Mill Valley, but how good is Mill Valley this year? We have no idea. They're only 1 week in. So not going to call him one-dimensional with 2 kids over 100 yards, but that sounds one-dimensional in terms of running. So hopefully we've seen Great Bend's kids coming in here. They're all stacked, no body fat. Shut down that run game and make things interesting.
He did pass the ball, Gage to their quarterback. He was 11 out of 13. He only had 77 yards. He did throw a couple picks, so they're going to want to keep the ball on the ground.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then we heard from Zach Barrett, head coach of the Hoisington Cardinals, as Hoisington trying to recover from their loss to Pratt on Friday night and also the loss of their quarterback, Jason Robinson.
Yeah. Breaking news was last time when we covered Friday's games, that was when I heard, and I was under the impression that Jason went down, intercepted the first pass of the season, gets the ball at quarterback and goes down, and no, it was during the interception he got hurt. So, man, you play up to that senior season, he comes in and is kind of an all-star, and crazy that it goes down like that. So good luck to him and good luck to the Cardinals. Coach Barrett has proven that when he's taken some lumps to graduation, he comes right back. So this isn't a loss to graduation, but it's a big loss. See how they bounce back.
I was under the impression, the same as you, that he intercepted a pass and then hurt his ankle on the first play from game.
Yeah.
But I was told later it was the interception.
Yeah,
that
the
hurt his
tackle.
play.
Yeah,
so he
crazy.
never did take a snap at quarterback.
No.
That's got to, and it's hard because you spent all summer and all preseason with Jason Robinson at quarterback, and now all of a sudden you're going to have to go to your number 2 guy.
And they did. I was over there one practice. They had a guy warming up, so it's not like they were unscripted completely, but I'm sure it was a big mental block for him.
Then we heard from the Buffalo Bills game last night as Tua Tagovailoa. I'm close, maybe.
You just say it fast.
You learned that in broadcasting real quick. He did not have a good game, and then he was hurt by a concussion. You did hear the return for a touchdown by the Buffalo Bills, and they won that contest by a 31-10 count. And what do you think about Tua? This is, you said beforehand, that's his 4th concussion in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think he made it through scot-free last year, but I believe it was 2 years ago, and 2 of them were really nasty ones. You're like, was he concussed when he threw that pass that you could have picked off? And he threw it across the field. No, I don't even think his guys were close. The guy could have walked it in. But yeah, obviously you get the hit. DeMar Hamlin, lo and behold, was the one that hit him.
I found that interesting. He was the one.
And it didn't look straight up to the head, but I wasn't sure he was quite all there. And then they came back really quick when he went to the locker room, said concussion. And then, of course, the conversation today was, at what point's he going to get out? How much? He's got enough money in the bank. If you got to stay in the game, go be a coach. But I don't know how many hard concussions you can take.
I it's his call, obviously, but I'm with you. It's you don't need the money, I wouldn't think.
You maybe hope, obviously, some of the guys that have had those injuries are no longer around, but maybe some of the guys on the lesser scope are reaching out to him saying, here's what's at stake, dude.
Yeah. You want to be able to walk and talk when you're 65.
Yeah, presumably, yeah, probably with kids and all that. Don't put it all. Yeah, you'll never have to work again. Do what you want. Be safe.
Well, we were going to hear from Andy Reid, but I blew that one. But Andy Reid talking about, let's see, what did Andy talk about? We didn't hear it, so should we even talk about it? We'll just skip
I'll
on
tell
by.
you what he said. You going to finish those nuggies?
Okay. I don't think Patrick wanted to give up those nuggies, did he?
No, that was just I saw an interview the other day where they brought that up. It was pretty funny.
And then you see pictures of Patrick Mahomes and people talking about how he's not as muscular as some NFL players, but
Get the dad bod going.
too many nuggies. But he's doing okay for himself.
Much
don't you think?
Whataburger.
All right. Then we heard from, let's see, this was Dustin Dodd. I don't think that's right, but he's from CBS Sports. Did you know that the Mountain West got raided by the Pac-12?
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't know the Pac-12 was still around, but they still had two schools, and so they went a little bit further south, and it won't be the Pac-12. What are we about, Pac-6 at this point?
It's the Pac-6, and there was
Six-pack.
Everybody was talking about calling them a six-pack and stuff like that, but they cannot be a NCAA school unless they have 8 teams. So they got to go out and find a couple more. But here's the one thing. The story I heard was they had $250 million at their disposal. So Washington State and Oregon State, the only 2 teams left, had just $250 million. They are going to pay the exit fee from the Mountain West for Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Colorado State. So those schools are not going to cost them anything. So the $250 million, they have it's going to be $113 million for the exit fees. So they're still going to have quite a bit of money.
And it's interesting, Big 12, whatever we are now, the Big 16, Big 22. Hey, Utah, BYU, are you listening?
Yeah, no, and that's what they think that there may be some Pac-12 schools that may be interested in going back, because if you're Arizona, do you want to really fly to Manhattan all the time? I mean,
well, and it was what, Washington, Oregon, or what, they're Big 10?
Yeah.
You're going to go to Penn State and Michigan? No.
I miss the days of the Big 8, but I'm showing my age. Then we heard from Rich Eisen, and Rich Eisen was talking about Bo Nix. You know, Bo Nix did not have a very good first game for the Broncos, but Rich Eisen was impressed with what he saw out of the Broncos rookie quarterback, Bo Nix.
Yeah, and I know they have to have talking points, but it's not like they pulled this guy off the street. He played at a couple major universities. He's been in big games. I never see it as, to me, as if one of us went and played our first NFL game at quarterback, I would expect some jitters. These guys, I mean, he's been playing quarterback for 15 years.
That would be, no jitters
Against-
here.
Just throw it over the mountains.
There you go. This is Sports Day. Mike Hesher, Mike Corson, and Landon Winkler with us. We'll tell you quickly, we're not done yet, but Equity Bank, adding value for our customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Coming up on the show today, we have Chewy's in, right?
Chewy Loera, Great Bend Soccer, brought in a couple players.
Oh, so
to be TBD.
So it's going to be a full house today.
surprise.
All right.
Correct.
So they're going to be here shortly, and they're actually here. So also Connor Nickel. Steve Webster has a visit with Connor Nickel, and I'm sure they're going to talk a little bit about maybe some volleyballs, what I was told, and maybe the WAC is crazy this week because 2 of the schools, Garden City and Dodge City, go to Olathe to face some Olathe schools, while Olathe South is coming to Great Bend. Liberal is hosting Wichita North, and then Hayes is going to Denver to play Wheat Ridge.
And then one of the Olathe area schools is going into Oklahoma. So there was a bunch of schools making, I think, 500-plus mile round trips this week. But yeah, I've got Connor on. He's a Victoria-type guy. Big game tonight with Central Plains. Those used to be marquee games. So Central Plains is back on the up, so it's actually a big 8-man game tonight.
Okay, Landon Winkler, you're a gamer. Tell us a little bit about esports and why we kind of, sorry, I got something caught in the old throat. We talked about gaming and sports having some common denominators.
Right. So a lot of the times people think, if it doesn't have the athleticism, it's not a sport. And I get it. You see your nephew, your son, whatever, playing Minecraft, and you're thinking, man, the whole idea of someone playing this and calling this a sport is kind of ridiculous. And I mean, yeah, theoretically, any game could be a sport as long as it's possible, to win. There's people willing to watch, and stuff like that. But a lot of the times there is similarities, whether you'd like to. And what I'm going to say is, you're not going to come out of this expecting. I'm not expect you to come out of this changing your opinion. If you don't think it's a sport, well, I can't change anything about that for you. But there are similarities to actual sports, maybe not in the athleticism sense, but in the sense that it takes teamwork, it takes strategy, it takes
some hand-eye coordination. And, you got to be able to cooperate with your fellow teammates. You're not going to be able to win if you have this lone wolf going off, doing whatever, and then racking up points for the other team instead of, for your team.
That's why he's on JV.
Yeah, so you're playing Minecraft by yourself. Cool, you're a gamer. You throw in one more person and make it a competition. That's sport.
Yeah,
by definition.
And there's you might be saying that this is cheating a little bit. There are esports that are based on actual sports. So like there's this game called Rocket League where it's basically soccer, but you're driving around in little cars and hitting the ball into the other goal. And so in that sense, I mean, if you're willing to bend the definition of sport a little bit, you can get there.
And I will say one of the reasons you do sports or promote sports is we're growing our kids to learn to deal with adversity and learn how to be successful. Nobody likes to get beat, so if you don't play sports and you don't encounter that adversity of getting it handed to you once in a while, you're not learning that. So I will credit esports with you still have to learn how to lose and be a winner and train and put in the work to get better if you don't want to get beat. So I do see the parallels there.
Absolutely.
So what do you find about it exciting, Landon?
Well, to me, I feel like it's a lot more accessible, believe it or not. I mean, sure, you're not going to see me going out, having a team of my own, but it's certainly a lot easier to go out and have a team than it is to, get shredded. You're not going to see me being an NFL quarterback. I'm sorry, you're just not.
He's a linebacker.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman, Landon, come on.
Okay, you're not going to see, well, either way, you're not going to see me doing that, but you might be able to see me being a team player for something like Rainbow Six Siege or something like that, because it just is a little bit more inherently accessible.
But yeah, if you got a good internet connection, you don't even need somebody in your own community. You can get that out there. Say you're asthmatic, you can't go run 2 miles. So it's an interesting way for just the people to be in a team of some sort.
Absolutely.
I was thinking this might have been the first segment ever on Sports Day of esports, but I think we did one a couple of years ago with Barton. Didn't we?
They've been successful. Wichita State's been successful. So, yeah, there's actually ways to get scholarships doing this. And you're going to criticize a kid for getting free education?
No.
I doubt it.
So are you going to leave us, Landon? Are you going to go after a scholarship now?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I'm not that good. I mean, there's a big difference between someone going out and throwing a ball and someone going out and just playing a game.
Do you need me to get in your face and yell at you?
If that's what it takes.
Well, push the X button faster.
Thank you, Landon Winkler. Very informative here.
Thank you.
All righty. Sports Day is brought to you by Animal Medical Center. Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Big or small, they take care of them all. Coming up on Sports Day, Steve Webster will talk to Connor Nickel, have all things talking about Connor and Steve Webster. But coming up next, Mike Corson will visit with Chewy Loera from the Great Bend soccer team and a couple of players, all on your Friday edition of Sports Day.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports,
leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Get the power you need for your farm equipment. The power of peace of mind that dependable Cenex lubricants deliver. With decades of proven off-road performance, backed by the industry-leading Cenex Total Protection Plan warranty. Cenex heavy-duty diesel engine oils, hydraulic fluids, gear lubricants, and greases are formulated to provide superior protection for load-bearing equipment. The power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by members of the Great Bend High School Panther team. We've got senior Ryan Russo, sophomore Ricardo Cruz, and as per usual of lately on Friday, Coach Chewy Loera. We got some good news to get to, but we got sponsors to get to, Coach.
We got sponsors, so let's get to them. We got Equity Bank, adding value for our customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Lardon. See the locations. Tab at equitybank.com for more locations. We got Cougar Booster Club. Barton Cougar Booster Club continue their efforts to make their Barton Athletic Department the best in the country.
All right, we talked to you last week. You were coming off a loss to Liberal. Went up to Salina for a brand new tournament for you guys. Kind of, what was the situation Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a brand new tournament for us, and we were the opening game. We played against St. Mary's, brand new team, never seen them before. We were able to get some film and put up a pretty good game plan against them, but couldn't finish, and we lost in a tight one, 1-0. And then yesterday, played Junction City, and we were able to get the result we wanted this time and get that 1-0 and so we're moving in the right direction.
So Ryan, that Liberal game, what was it? 8 goals at halftime.
6.
6 shut them out in the second half or thereabouts. What was the mindset going into this Tuesday game, first time out since that loss?
We are very eager to win. We're trying to develop a good team, talking as much as we can on the field, learning. It's always a learning game on practice, on the field. We see our faults, and we're trying to fix those.
What was the game situation? 1-0. It's going to be tight the whole way, but did they get one early or late?
They got it early. Yeah, I think they got it maybe in the 7th minute.
Really?
And then I think they were able to hold off.
Ricardo, how does that change in a game? It's going to be a close game throughout, but you got that deficit early on. What's that mean for the rest of the game?
Well, it was pretty unlucky, so I thought we were just going to, catch up and maybe score another one, but it was pretty unlucky, so it lowered people's heads, but we just got to keep on moving.
Where do you guys play, Ryan? Where are you at in the field?
I either can play left wing or right wing.
So up front?
Yes.
And Ricardo?
Attacking mid.
So your downs, we want the ball too. Our offensive guys put any extra pressure on you guys to get down 1-0 early on? What do you got? How do you react to that?
For me personally, it's connecting the ball, moving if you don't even have the ball. Communication is a big key on the field for me. And I feel like if we can do that and we can make our contacts on the field, we can get up there.
Let's go to game 2 because Great Bend's on the board, and I hear we've got the lucky goal scorer here. When was that goal in the term of the game?
It was in the second half, 26 minutes down, or 26 minutes left, and yeah, it was just, the whole game was intense, and it was just great to have a goal there.
So Junction City, it's a 6A school, probably fairly athletic. What St. Mary's, I think, is typically a 3A, normally 2A football school. What was the difference in you getting that goal, Ricardo, versus maybe some failed chances earlier on?
It was exciting. I had to celebrate on that one, and it was just, it was a well-placed goal, and it was great.
Of course it was. Where'd you place it?
Bottom to mid-right.
How far out were you?
Almost PK spot. outside of the little box around there.
And Ryan can talk about this too. Kind of what goes into setting up a goal. Did that just kind of come in straight from behind, or was it in from the side, or you guys have a preference on where you're getting balls from?
Right now with practices in our 2 games, we see there's a lot of opportunities of scoring or getting a shot on goal with cross-ins from our left back and right back, and from our left wing and right wing. I feel like if we can execute that, like we can really get in the box and get a shot on goal and score more.
Ryan, I'm going to ask this. You can shut me down. What is that accent?
It's more of a English, British accent, I can say. But I'm not from there, no.
Really?
No.
Okay. Thought maybe you had an interesting story about what coming over to play some soccer in Great Bend, Kansas.
So I played soccer when from South Africa for quite a long time. And then I moved to the United States about 2 years ago from now, coming to 3. And I met Coach, and I joined the soccer team, and it's been one hell of a blast from this whole year.
So you're coming from South Africa,
Yes.
big rugby, some track and field, and some soccer.
Yes.
Was it a culture shock to come to the middle of Kansas where not everybody plays soccer?
Yeah, it was a big change, but it was a big change, and I feel like me and my family, we had a big change that we had to like do to ourselves, and we had to adapt to this change, and I feel like it was a good decision from us.
And Ricardo, we've talked about last year. It was, I think, the last 2 years kind of been a relatively young team. Coming in as a sophomore, now you're the lone goal scorer on the season. What are your expectations as an underclassman this year?
I mean, I still have high expectations. Coach has me at high expectations, and I just still want to lead the team and just do my best out there.
Coach, what do you see from these guys? Obviously, you got them starting and playing up on the front end. What anything in particular from these two that has been impressive so far?
Yeah, just like Ryan mentioned, the communication is huge, and Ryan, he's a great example of what it looks like to communicate on the field. He's constantly talking, giving instruction, and so if I can, even if Ryan's not the one telling other guys to communicate more, I can ask him. I can ask the other players, hey, you see how well Ryan communicates on the field? We need more of that, and if you can do just a little bit of that more, you're going to put yourself in a good position to increase that chemistry. Ricardo's the same way. He's a player who works hard in the midfield, and he's got a lot to carry there, winning the ball defensively and then putting ourselves to deliver and putting our guys in position to score. And he does well, and just at his work rate that he's done this last couple of games has allowed us to stay close and then eventually put ourselves in a position to win because of his work rate now and is being able to contribute some goals, and hopefully we can just continue on, and that rubs off on some of the other players on the wings, and we score more goals and we get more wins.
Talking to Panther soccer coach Chewy Loera, we've got senior Ryan Russo and sophomore Ricardo Cruz coming off a 1-0 win yesterday against Junction City in Salina. So, yeah, start out the game. It was an uglier game against Liberal, but those Western schools have been pretty good. Back-to-back 1-0 games. Now you're 1-2 on the season. How does that set you guys up as players going into the rest of the season, Ryan?
I feel like the team is going to be eager to get that next win back-to-back. We're going to be aggressive, communicative on that field, and we're going to be positivity on that field, definitely.
And Ricardo, obviously the goal, but I'm seeing 1-0. Those are defensive battles. Do you step back? Are you helping out defensively? What's an offensive player's goal in these 1-0 games?
Yeah, a lot of defense, and in the midfield, it's a lot of running. It's just back and forth and contributing to the attacking and also contributing to the defense. And, you just got to keep on running and trying hard.
And maybe both of you can answer this, but probably more Ricardo. I fancied myself a decent midfielder. Love the angles, love passing, setting guys up. Could never handle the ball. What are you in terms? Do you like to handle the dribble better, and where does one get good at that? How?
Just a lot of practicing. Like you said, the passing and the dribbling, I feel like I do half and half. I dribble a lot also, and I also contribute to the attackers and also the defense.
And one more for you, Ricardo. What's it feel like when that ball gets past that keeper?
Well, it's obviously hard, but, you got to lift each other's heads and just keep on working for the next
No, I meant
goal.
you.
Oh, what?
When you scored it.
Oh, when I scored it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was exciting. You know, I celebrated. I was happy, and first goal of the season, so it was exciting.
Excellent. Coach, real quick, where are you headed next?
We'll go back to Salina. We'll play Topeka West to round off this tournament, and then on Tuesday we'll go to Hayes.
Panther soccer coach Chewy Loera. That was senior Ryan Russo and sophomore Ricardo Cruz. Panthers now 1-2 on the season. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More Sports Day after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with the low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
What's going on in high school sports? Well, let's ask him. Sports Day is proud to welcome in Sunflower Sports Solutions' Connor Nickel.
Indeed, Connor Nickel joining us on Sports Day. Brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. And the Great Bend Recreation Commission, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. Connor Nickel joining us, Sunflower Sports Solutions. What can they find on the website today, Connor?
Yeah, certainly. So a lot of good week 2 content. In the fall we do a partnership with K-Preps as well too. That's always gone really well. We've had that partnership now for 12 or so years. And so we've got a lot of week 2 content up there. Nest 3 also going great. I want to give a major shout out to our major sponsor, BP Clean Ride, who's been exceptional for us. Sponsoring the athlete of the week. Got to see a number of cross-country runners last week at TMP, including the Ellenwood team. So a lot of great things going on here.
Yeah, football's a big focus when we talk here on Fridays, but the Sunflower Sports Solutions is not a one-trick pony, sir.
No, it's not. Last year I was the first one to write about Madison Howland, the great girl from Smith Center, who ended up winning state cross country, a couple state track titles, a national title with Derek Joyner's daughter this summer. And so we had the first story on her last year. Howland won the TMP race by well over a minute. I mean, just incredibly impressive. 18:37, I believe. I thought that Ellenwood had a really fine showing. The Joyner girl finished very high. Got to see a lot of people who I know, and there was a really good meet. I thought the TMP has really made that meet robust. Had a lot of schools that will see each other throughout the year, and had a really positive start there.
Okay, Connor, let's get to it. Friday night matchups, and a very interesting one here in Great Bend tonight. The Great Bend Panthers coming off their 28-6 win over McPherson. Get Olathe South, whose offensive line looks like it's Fort Hays State's line, really. I mean, there's 275 across the front. It's a 6A school. They pressed Mill Valley a little bit last week. And I don't know, we're kind of just saying that, I don't know if it's a statement game for Great Bend, but maybe it's where they fit in the order of things. I don't know. How do you see this matchup tonight here in Great Bend, Connor?
Correct. So I am really high on South. They were one of my K-Preps potential breakout teams this year. They were number 5 in 6A in scoring offense last year, number 5 in yards per play, top 10 all classes, all of those stats available at Sunflower Sports Solutions. And I've had people this week, from Great Bend, even Hayes High, like, oh, what do you know on South? And I said, hey, It's all on S3 as far as their stats and breakdowns from last year. This team is very good. Very good offensive team. They were 6-4 last year. They really gave Mill Valley a tremendous game. In the first game of the season, they put up over 400 yards of an offense. Max Armstrong, the senior tailback, went over 1,000 yards last year. He is exceptional. So on the running backs in the preseason, did a 3,000-word story on running backs returning. I believe I have him like 8th or 9th in the state. He is really good. So 216 on the ground in week 1. They have a new quarterback this year. So the quarterback last year was a dual threat, 1,000-yard pass, 1,000-yard rush type of guy. And he's but their guy came in, was very, very efficient. 85% completion in week 1, but did throw 2 picks. Turnovers for South was kind of the bugaboo. They had 3 of them. Expect to put over 400 yards of offense. You kind of expect to win, really. So I will be honest. I think that South is actually a slight favorite here, but I think that says more about South than it does about GB. I mean, if GB loses by a score, I think GB can walk away saying, we can play with anybody. Statement's a good word. I also use this as a measuring stick game of, okay, against a 6A Kansas City school that just played the 5A state champions to a very, very close game, how do we stack up? If Great Bend wins, I think as an emphatic, they are a top 5 team in 5A for sure. But if they lose, I think it's okay too. Just how does this kind of game flow occur?
I agree with that statement too, because statement, that'd be a gigantic statement if you win, but you just want to see how you match up with them. And Max Armstrong, tell me about this. I mean, is he a physical back? Is he a guy that just takes it to the house? I know that their coach Litchfield said he plays probably about every play, but maybe 5 or 6 during the game. So he's going on both sides of the football. But what kind of back are we going to see?
Yeah, and I think the major thing they're doing with him this year differently is they're throwing the ball more. He has been a physical back. He's there. He and the Marks kid. So Juju Marks, of course, transfers from St. Thomas Aquinas, top 10 all classes recruit, excellent player, Division I offensive lineman, and that's going to be a huge help on that line. Yeah, the Armstrong kid is just your classic Kansas City area great player, 5'10", 195. Been really impressed with how he caught the ball last week. Last year he had 20 catches, which is still a good number, but then to have 7 in week 1 is his career high on that. He's going to get the ball a lot. Averaged 16 carries a game last year, averaged 24, had 24 in week 1. He's going to get the ball, I would say, 30 touches tonight. And frankly, if South's going to win games this year, that probably would be the way it goes. You've seen some Kansas City area kids last couple of years. Blue Valley West had a kid just like this who they're going to get the ball to you pretty much every play. Armstrong's that type of player.
Okay, I'll give Liberal the win over Wichita South, but other than that, this could be, we'll see how the Western Athletic Conference stacks up. Dodge City's at Olathe East, Garden City at Olathe Northwest, and Hayes goes to Colorado to take on Wheat Ridge. What do you know about that club?
Yes, some wild circumstances. A lot of people have asked about this. I got asked the 4 days game last Saturday quite a bit. Tony Crow and I have talked about this, Coach Crow. There was just some circumstances. Hayes High knew very early in the scheduling process that week 2 was not going to be filled. It's very challenging. For years, Steve, they've been able to play lower tier 4A schools that are geographically close. Ulysses, Abilene are the two that kind of come most to mind, and that is no longer the case now. Generally speaking, the Great Bend game has been week 2. The WAC changing their games to later in the season just kind of created this void, and Coach Crow said that they were very aware of this. So they're making the long trip west. You look at the score from Derby last week. I was there. The game Hayes High played with them for about a quarter and a half, but when Derby got into a fourth down situation, and there were two of them very critically early in the game, Deshaun Brain, the Tennessee guy, would get the ball, and there would be a first down. Derby just has way too many weapons, just way too many super talented players. Their nose guard has been offered by Marshall, I thought was exceptional on defense. So, yeah, again, the WAC is really kind of up against it tonight, truly. And if they can get a win tonight, I think that would be good for the conference. But I don't have them favored in any of these games.
But you do have Liberal taking care of Wichita South, don't you?
Oh, South,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
okay.
But as far as
But,
your
the
Casey area games and as far as the Colorado games, I don't think the WAC is favored in those. But yes, I believe that the Redskins win tonight.
Okay, Heston at Hoisington tonight. Hoisington losing at Pratt in the season opener. Heston comes in with a 7-point win over Halstead. What about this game at Elton Brown Field tonight?
Well, last year, week one, I was there for these two games, and Coach Tyson Byerly for Heston was very upfront about this. We do not know who is going to play quarterback, and then they figured it out. And after the Hoisington game, when Taylor Morales returns the fumble, 90+ yards. There was some other plays in that game that really switched that game. Hoisington went on to win fairly easily. Heston really figured some things out. The Friesen kid stepped in a quarterback really pretty much full time and had a really nice season. Kind of keeping in our theme of the day, I believe that Heston, like South, is going to be a potential breakout team this year. I think that they are really good. You look at week one. Carter Gonzalez is good. They ran and threw the ball for basically the same amount of yards. I really just like their talent across the board. Another theme of the day is good players who get the ball a lot. Carter Gonzalez is that for Heston too. Multi-purpose guy, really a nice player. As we talked last week, Hoisington has such a hard schedule. Going on the week one to Pratt was going to be challenging. I do have Hoisington as a slight 3-point favorite tonight, but this is a game that could go either way. I think these are two very evenly matched teams.
Okay, Larned could go to 2-0 tonight, and their schedule a little bit more favorable than maybe some other teams. But hey, you got to take advantage of, especially when you got a Hillsboro team that appears to be struggling a little bit.
Yeah, this is a game for Larned. They should definitely win. I've talked with the Hillsboro coach over the years, and they kind of know. I mean, you're at a major basketball school. You kind of know that you're going to go through these ups and downs. A couple years ago they had that breakthrough. I think they went from 1-8 to 8-2, somewhere in that range, and he was very happy. And I really liked. Again, we talked about with Larned, extremely run-heavy team. 90% of their snaps are run. Top 10 all classes. You look at their first game, 32 rushes, 4 passes. The thing that I was really interested about, how would Jimmy Gardner impact Larned? 10 carries, 45 yards off the bat. The great Pawnee Heights kid coming over, 5 tackles. Gardner impacted. So I want to see if Larned's going to be good. Jimmy Gardner has got to play a role, and Larned has got to run the ball well.
Okay, a big rivalry match, really. I mean, Central Plains and Victoria, it kind of took a break when Central Plains kind of went through a little bit of rebuilding here the last few seasons. But back at it tonight, Victoria at home with the Motorcycles, and the Oilers come to town tonight. 2 1-0 teams, Connor.
Yeah, people are really excited about this game. I have Victoria favored, probably +12. But I think it's going to be a good 4-quarter game. A lot of people are very aware of Kreitz, a quarterback. CP will throw it a lot. The Victoria was very dominant in their week one game against a very struggling Ness City team. The major thing and this comes from other coaches, is Victoria's line. How do you match up with that line? And at 8-man, it's just really hard to do when you've got that much size. I felt like CP will be able to complete passes. But when you look at their offense overall, can you run the ball effectively tonight? And, last year, 6.6 yards per carry. That's a really nice number. But obviously the tackle kid's gone. CT is going to have to throw it, but they're also going to have to run it enough where they can create offense off of that. But the big major question is tonight, can CP's defense stop Victoria's line enough? I think, honestly, Victoria needs a four-quarter game because they're not going to get many of them in the next 7 weeks. And I think CP needs that good measuring stick test, and hopefully both of those two things come tonight.
Okay, Victoria last year seemed like everything was set up for them to make a trip to the state championship game. They got caught up in that South Central wave that seemed to come out of nowhere last year. How's this team stack? I mean, you get, year after year, you're knocking at the door. How's this team stack up with the people you talk to and what you've seen?
Yeah, well, Coach Oberle, I think, a major quote is get over the hump. Get over the hump. They're now at 4 consecutive years with semifinal or quarterfinal losses. Now, the first year, they were not favored against St. Francis at all. No way. Year 2 against Grainfield when they had Jet Vincent, obviously now at Colorado State, not favored in that game. Game 2, Victoria was very, very banged up. Last year, then you had the year against Thunder Ridge when a very even matchup. It was an extremely cold night. Some of us remember the Bice kid from Thunder Ridge had an incredible day. It's a really good game. Frankly, he just was better than everybody on the field on that night. Then last year, as we had just mentioned, the South Central loss, the loss that I think a lot of people still stays in the craw of some people of. Victoria SC played really well. Victoria had issues with turnovers like crazy. They have the goal this year, get over the hump in 8-man Division II West. They believe it is them and Dighton. And Dighton was really impressive in week 1. I mean, really impressive. So they kind of say, hey, let's get over the hump with all these great linemen, a senior quarterback, some kids who have really been in the system. That's their goal this year. How they stack up, line-wise, this is an outstanding line. Huser is an incredible player. I think how they stack up can be answered more after tonight.
Okay, real quick here. Okay, you talk about a statement game. Here's 2 teams that traditionally have been very good in 8-man football over the years. Now they match up the first time in 6-man. Both schools playing their first 6-man game. Otis Bison 1-0 at South Barber tonight, who's 0-1.
Yes, I tell Steve, this is out of all the games we talked about in Great Bend South, this game is really intriguing. Yeah. I mean, Otis Bison is now ranked 5th. Talked to Coach Coles quite a bit on Monday night. He and I had about a 10 or 15-minute talk. Big smile on Coach Cole's face. He goes, I love being here. I love being at Otis. He goes, we are so athletic, big, strong linemen, great quarterback. Matt Gilmore and I spoke too. There's a reason why they're 5th now. We're really high on them. And that was entering I told people from Otis that Otis Bison is going to have a winning football team this year, and they are going to be good. And, Coach Coles knows 6-man really, really well. South Barber, they took their lumps against Cunningham, who I think is by far and away the best team. And Coach Coles agrees with me. He thinks Weston's probably number 2, but then you've got this stretch of South Barber, Otis Bison, Ingalls, Meridazine Valley, Peabody Burns, maybe one other. That's kind of this next tier. And this next tier, measuring sticks. This next tier tonight, whoever wins this game will be ranked tonight. Whoever loses this game will not be ranked. And South Barber, I think it probably has figured out some things. I expect this to be a great game.
Okay, it is kind of neat that these 2 teams are matching up. And you mentioned Peabody Burns in there. We had a discussion earlier this week. It was the late 70s, and Peabody played Beloit for the 3A state championship. Yeah, some towns stay the same. Some towns kind of disappear a little bit. Connor Nickel with us here on Sports Days, brought to you by Eller Automotive Repair. They specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. And by Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish and continued support. They have you covered. Real quick, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back. I just want you to run down some highlights from the volleyball week, Connor. We'll do that here on Sports Day. Stay with us.
Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
All right, Connor Nickel with us here for just a couple more minutes. Highlights from the volleyball week, sir.
Yes, I saw Ellenwood and Victoria and Plainville play last night. Victoria wins the first set. Great set from the Knights. Did a great job. Ellenwood comes back. Kennedy Benke was super impressive all night long. Kendall Moore, of course, Ellenwood's outstanding player, was out. Did get some confirmation she should be back on Saturday. Obviously if Ellenwood wants to do what they want to do, Kendall Moore has to play this year. But they were still really strong without her. And to pull out, some wins without your, best player, certainly your second best player, is saying a lot. I thought Bennett Jacobs in the back row was really good. Was it Ellenwood's best showing ever? No. But what you can say, and I've said this, Victoria is going to be a well above average team this season. So far, they already are. To beat a team like that on their home floor in 3 sets without Kendall Moore, I think says a lot of good things too. So that was kind of the major thing I saw there. I think this is a major tournament weekend here, and I'm really interested to see how the Otis Bison lacrosse, the Rush County tournament goes. There's a lot of teams involved with that. I'm interested to see, who is going to be that pecking order in the CPL. I think Ellenwood is definitely number 1, but I think you've got a lot of interesting teams in that 2 through 5 range. And tomorrow, that Otis Bison lacrosse tournament going to be one to really, really focus on. But I wanted to really focus on Ellenwood today because I got to see them play in person last night.
Okay, where are you making a stop at tonight?
I will be in Victoria tonight. It is my daughter's birthday today, and so we're doing things she wants to do. She goes, I want to go watch the game and hang out with my friends. So we're going to go do that.
Look at that, Dad. You're just going, okay, sweetheart, I'll go ahead and go. Oh, yeah, Central Plains is playing Victoria tonight. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Hey, Connor, have a great week. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Sounds good, sir. Thanks so much.
All right. Connor Nickel joining us here on Sports Day. Sports Day brought to you in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country, and by the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, featuring number 2 Clear Diesel, bulk fuel, E10, fuel delivery, all your lubricants and fuel supplies. Sports Day continues after this.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today I wanted to visit with you about the power of a multi-doctor practice. And the power of a multi-doctor practice is we can serve many different people, many different personalities. The power of a multi-doctor practice is we have a lot of horsepower here, a lot of people. We can get a lot done. We can say yes, we can get you taken care of. The other cool thing about a multi-doctor practice is we're all different personalities, we're all different makes and models. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with a low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
And welcome back into the last segment of Sports Day. Mike Hesher in for Steve Webster this afternoon. Special thanks to the soccer coach at Great Bend, Coach Chewy, along with a couple of players. Looks like Ryan Russo was a senior, and then Ricardo Cruz, a sophomore, for joining us on Sports Day. Also, once again on Fridays, we always talk to Connor Nickel from the Sunflower Sports Solutions, so special thanks to him and Steve Webster for that very informative discussion about Great Bend football as well as football around the area, and the WAC schools headed their different directions here this evening. Okay, we do have some late-breaking news, I believe. The Chiefs have announced that wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown will undergo surgery for his injury and will be placed on injured reserve. A source confirmed to ESPN earlier today. Brown, who did not play in the Chiefs' season-opening win over the Baltimore Ravens, will have to miss the next 4 games, including Sunday's contest against the Cincinnati Bengals at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs' major off-season signing, Brown suffered a dislocation of one of his shoulder joints after catching a pass in the first play of Kansas City's first preseason game back on August 10th against Jacksonville. So the Chiefs' free agent signee over this offseason, Marquise Hollywood Brown, is done for 5 or 6 more games. A lot of football going on tonight. In the high school levels, you heard all about what's going on. Don't forget that Great Bend will be hosting Olathe South. You can hear that game 104 on 104.3. That game will start at 7 o'clock, broadcast coverage at 6:30. Hoisington and Heston, you can hear that game 6:30 as well, 100.7 Eagle Country. And Larned taking on Hillsboro, you can hear that game on 106.9 The Hits. Other games in the area, talked a little bit about Central Plains and Victoria, and the 6-man games, Otis Bison and South Barber. Also, Pawnee Heights at Western Plains, and Northern Valley is at Chase. And it is Friday night, but college football is invading Friday nights, and tonight it'll be Kansas hosting UNLV. That game will be at Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City. Kickoff set for 6 o'clock, and you can watch that game on ESPN. And then the big one, Arizona at Kansas State to take on the Wildcats. That game will be on Fox, and it will start at 7 o'clock. And I heard something interesting this morning. While they will be Big 12 members in the future, or right now, this is not a Big 12 game. So I heard it was a non-league game. I'm not sure about that one. That'll wrap up Sports Day today. Equity Bank. Here when you need to have a local bank, save big with a in-person banking and business banking. That's at Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. You all have a great weekend, and we hope to see you at a high school football game this evening.